Love is such an amazing feeling. It's the highest vibrating frequency we have on this earth. You may experience love beginning in your life from your parents. You may have that first love that you've experienced with your partner, with a person that you maybe had when you were young. They're no longer there. And you look back and you're like, wow, that actually happened in my life. I actually experienced that type of feeling that I am now chasing, now desiring. And as we get older, we realize more so what it is that we crave from another person, what we want from another person, and what we expect. Expectation can be rooted in disappointment because if that person that you're pursuing isn't the way that you expected, isn't the way that you want to be loved, received, that tarnishes the overall relationship that you have with this person because it's overran with your desire. It's overran with how you perceive them. It's like a fantasy. And so we hold this to people, truthfully, and we don't allow people to actually be themselves. We have to accept people for who they are, and we have to accept them for the actions that they take towards us. And it's not in a self-reflection type of thing because the way that people treat you is the way that they see how to treat other people. And if they don't treat you like a priority, if they don't care for you, if they don't treat you as if they don't want to lose you, then that should be your answer right then and there. That love that they have for you isn't truly authentic. Because truthfully, when it comes to love, man, we would do anything, any and everything. We would go above and beyond for this person. And you know that to be true. So if you're not receiving that from this other person, and you have communication, you talk to them, you tell them, hey, I don't appreciate when you do these certain things. And they say, okay. But their actions reflect something different. You should know that love is not something you should stick around for. People have to want to change. People have to choose to change. And change does take time. Change does happen over time. And change can happen when you're still with that person. But then there's also growth when you're away from that person. Sometimes change must occur when you're no longer in the forefront of their mind, when you're no longer in their presence. And that's why a lot of times when people break off things with someone and they go into the realization like months later that, wow, this person actually was somebody that I valued, I cared for. Why did I ever let them go? And they spin the block. That's what spinning the block is. But the repercussion of making that choice, the person who was walked away from, the person who was heartbroken, broken up with, now have to accept that this person chose to walk away from them. They have to decide whether or not that person returning that has this newfound perspective, newfound like realization that this person actually was my person, they have to go through that pain and that upsetting state of not being the one, not being that person for that other person. And I know we have experienced this in life. A lot of us have experienced people who spin the block, but spinning the block isn't something that is always something we should praise or be happy about. Because when we are broken up with, a lot of times we think about how to get that person back. We want to stop this pain because it's so heavy on our chest. We want to stop this pain because that person is the only thing that can stop it because it's the person that caused it. Yet we start spiraling. We lose ourselves, and you lose yourself in the relationship because you're no longer happy. You're no longer happy because that person is gone. You're no longer happy because you look to that person every day for good morning, good night text, a call throughout the day, how you doing, them checking in on you, see if you ate food, see if you're hydrated, see if you're going to the gym, working out, working on yourself. You don't need that other person to check in for you for validation of self. You must check in with yourself. You must know that you yourself have to put forth the action, the energy, the effort into improving, into being a better person. And so with this self-improvement journey, with this self-improvement channel that I've created, it is a multitude of things that I express and talk about because these are personal experiences. You can't talk on things or speak on situations that you don't feel. You can try to mimic and talk about it in a sense of how everyone else talks about it, how everyone else have had their 2 cents to put into it, but until you truly experience things in its entirety, there is nothing that you can say to convince or connect to people that are actively feeling the same way too. So, moving on from people and letting them go, and knowing that you must change how you react to the situation. You must change how you react to them not choosing you. You must change how you feel emotionally whenever you're charged or taken back to that memory of that person. Because we chase the highs of the relationship, yet we don't ever take too much mind or conscious thought into thinking about the negatives, all the things that this person did not do. We think of them to be such a perfect person. We perceive them on a higher plane because that's all that we ever wanted from this person. We don't like to see the bad in people that we want to be with because we choose to love through those bad times. And love is a choice, but it's also a feeling that you have for someone. That's why whenever there's a good person for you, right, and you don't feel attracted to that person, you shouldn't feel bad to know that they would do anything for you, yet you can't reciprocate that same energy because you know that person you're not attracted to on that same level. There are so many people that can be so much better for you. Yet if you're not attracted, you really shouldn't force yourself to grow to love someone because that connection is either there or it's not there. And forcing that connection, because I've forced that connection before, and truthfully, I drug that mug out for a whole year, and I have nothing to show for it, really. I really don't, besides my Dragon Ball addiction. That's the only thing that I can carry out from that past relationship that I had, is I was not put onto Dragon Ball before then, and I didn't even realize that I would have learned to love that show as a whole. But really, a lot of this comes from how we look at people, how we perceive people, and not accepting them as they are. We like to create these fantasies in our mind and think that this person is better than what they are giving us. We like to give benefit of doubt. But giving benefit of doubt hurts you because you're thinking of this person higher than what they actually are. You're thinking so highly of this person, yet they're put on this pedestal and this place that they will never achieve. And people feel that. People feel when you put them on the pedestal. People feel when you are perceiving them to be such this magnificent person. And if they don't live up to that expectation, that anxiety or that pressure or that doubt in themselves, it's a toll on them. They will probably push you away. They will probably leave you. Or they will probably just, I don't know. I don't know what people do, but I know what I did. I started to resent my partner because I was put on a pedestal at one point in time. I was perceived as such a heightened being that my flaws did not matter. Everything about me was just, I want you to be happy. I want to be your comfort person. I want. And it was so much overwhelming feelings to me that I couldn't truly express myself anymore because I was so embedded in this expectation of this other person that I began to lose myself. I began to feel less of myself because I couldn't live up to their expectation of me. The disappointment that follows with that ideology that someone is so much better, someone is so perfect. We are not perfect. We are so flawed. That aspect right there, in and of itself, is a lot. It's a lot on people. So, really, truthfully, love is challenging. We're going to bring back to what I was mainly talking about because I feel like I went on a tangent, but love in particular, love in everything that you do, love with another person in a partnership. Love definitely is complex, but it's easier than we're led to believe. Love is a very simple thing that we can learn with another person if we're willing. And that part is definitely, I hold it so strongly because it is the most crucial thing. Because if somebody does not want to, they are not going to. No matter how good of a person you treat them. If they don't want to, they don't want you, shawty. They don't want you, sir. You have to keep moving on, moving forward. And finding the people that do want you. And finding those people that you can confide in. Because, truthfully, if you keep chasing somebody for what they could be, you will constantly lose the person that you are. Because you're defining yourself in this other person. You're taking this other person and putting them so far on the pedestal that you can't even reach them anymore. And the more that you chase, the more that they repel you. Because it's not an attractive thing to be chased by somebody. As much as we like to be chased, as much as we like to be admired, it's kind of overwhelming. It's kind of a lot. It's an ego stroke for some people. Some people live that way, but truthfully, love is not as hard as we make it out to be. Love is a beautiful thing. Love is the one thing in life that a lot of us want most. So don't rush it. Never rush love. Be patient, be gentle, be kind, and know that you deserve the love that you are seeking. Never doubt that. Never doubt that. You will experience love in your life, and you will experience it the way that you desire it to be. As long as you take everything slow, keep pouring into yourself, keep doing everything that you need to do, and don't focus on any other person. That person will come around when you least expect it, and they will improve your life in ways that you've never envisioned. So learn to love yourself first, and everything else will fall into place.